Alright, today we're going to be working on a 2005. It's a Honda 1.7 liter engine, and we're going to be changing the oil and the filter. Now if you look underneath here, this is the bottom of the vehicle here, and you'll see that this is the oil pan right here. This is on the driver's side. We're going to take out this nut right here. We're going to let the oil drain out. And then once the oil drains out, we're going to put it back in, and we're going to remove the filter, which is up underneath the bottom, right up underneath there. It's that white thing that says Fram on it right there. Well, we're going to be replacing that filter right there at the same time. All right, so let me grab some tools. We're going to get started, and I'll show you how it goes. The size of the bolt that's in the oil pan, or the oil drain plug, is a 17 millimeter. So we're going to grab a wrench, and we're going to remove the bolt. Obviously we're going to have a bucket underneath it to catch the oil as it comes out, and this is the drain plug right here. I'm going to just give you a word of advice. I've had a lot of customers come in and the plug is stripped out, totally rounded off, and you can't get it out. And the reason for that is because people are using the open end part of the wrench to remove this here. And these plugs, sometimes they're pretty tight. When you try to do that, this wrench will slide around it and it'll round this off. Make sure you use a box wrench on here like this. It won't round it out. Or you can use a socket and a ratchet. And you're going to go counterclockwise, break it loose, and then once you break it loose, you just take the plug out and you let the oil drain into some type of a bucket or something to catch the oil in. A good idea is to get yourself a pair of throwaway gloves, because if you get this all over your hands, it is kind of messy. It's a lot better to take the gloves and throw them away. You don't have to worry about getting the stuff on your hands. Okay, you just take the plug out. And when you take the plug out, obviously it's going to squirt out a little further than the plug, so make sure you have a bucket there to catch it. Remove the plug nice and easy, and you let the oil pan drain out. While that's draining, we're going to go up and we're going to take that filter out, and I'm going to show you how to go about doing that. Fairly easy. They make a lot of different things you can get up there with to remove it. I have a couple of different ones I use. One of them is a wrench like this that you would put. This is the new filter, obviously. You would put it onto the filter while it's up there, like this, and you're going to go counterclockwise to remove it. Right? Put it on like this, and you turn it, and you can take it out. That's one way. They have another tool that you get like this, and it goes over the back of the filter like this, and you can put a ratchet in here. There's a hole in the back, a 3/8 notch in there, and you can remove it with the 3/8 ratchet. Whatever works for you is fine. Sometimes you can even, if you're lucky enough, somebody did their job correctly, they put it on hand tight only, and sometimes you can remove it by hand. But in this case, they tightened it up too tight, and I can't get it off like that, so we're going to put this tool up there, and we're going to put it onto the filter, and we're going to remove it. I'm going to show you how that tool looks up there. It goes on the filter like that, and then you would just push it and it would take it off. I'll show you. It goes like that, and you're just going to push it counterclockwise to get it to turn off. I need two hands to do this, but that's basically what you're going to do. So let me do that right now. And once you loosen it far enough that you can turn it off by hand, then you obviously can just unscrew the rest of the way by hand. Okay. I just want to show you something. When you take the filter down, make sure that the old gasket that was on there comes down with it, because sometimes this gasket remains up on the engine and you're going to wind up with an oil leak. Alright, what you do is the replacement, and you put a little bead of oil onto the filter, just a little bead of oil onto the filter like this, and then you screw the filter back up on there as tight as you can by hand. You don't need to tighten it on with a wrench. As tight as you can make it by hand, and that's fine. Alright, now we're just going to let it drain out a little bit more. Once it finishes draining, then I'll come back and I'll show you what to do to wrap this job up. Okay, once it finishes draining out, we're going to reinstall the oil drain plug. Make sure that your gasket on the drain plug is in good condition. If not, replace it. You put the plug in by hand. Don't tighten it with a wrench yet. Screw it in as far as you can go by hand. You put your wrench on it, again using your box end, and you just pull it till it's a little tight. Remember, you're screwing this into an aluminum pan. You don't want to strip it out. That's it. Alright, we're going to wipe off all the excess oil. And once we have the oil drained, the oil wiped off, we're going to lower it down, and we're going to put the new oil back in. So we'll come right back once we get this on the ground, and we'll wrap this up. Okay, now that you got the car back down on the ground, we're going to make sure we put the proper oil in the car. As you can see with this one here, it calls for a 5W20 motor oil, which is just what we're going to use. I know there's been a lot of controversy where people are saying you can use different oils. Go by what the dealer recommends. You're not going to have a problem then. Alright, that's where the oil is going to go. And I know, I looked it up on the computer, and I know that this vehicle here takes 3.5 quarts of oil. So what we're going to do is we're going to put in the 3.5 quarts of oil, and then we're going to start it, let it run for a little bit, just to make sure that the oil level is full. If you're not sure how many quarts goes in your car, put in 3 quarts on a Honda anyway. Put in 3 quarts, start the car up, let it run, shut it off, let it sit for a minute or two, and then check the oil level just to confirm that it's up to the full mark. So what I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to put 3.5 in there, because that's pretty close to what it's going to take. It may take slightly more, but we'll do the same thing. We'll put the 3.5 in, then we're going to start it, and we'll check the oil level. I'll show you how to check that level, just to make sure it's full. Okay, that's 3 of them. We're going to put our half in. Make sure you put your oil cap back on when you start it, because it'll have oil everywhere if you don't. You put it on, and we start it for a moment. Okay, now we just let it sit for a minute, and we pull our dipstick out. And we wipe the stick down. Make sure the stick is clean, and we know that it has to be between the minimum and the maximum on the stick. So let's check it, and we'll make sure. And as you can see, it's exactly to the full mark right now, so this doesn't need any more oil. But if it did need more oil, obviously you would just add whatever it is. This is usually 1/4 between the two holes. So if you need a 1/2 quart, you put a 1/2 quart in, whatever it is, you bring it up to the full mark. All right, that's it. We're all set. All right, make sure you check your levels, and you'll be all set. All right, thanks for watching, and to see you guys on the next one. Okay, now that you've got the oil change done, you make sure everything is nice and dry underneath the bottom. Look underneath to confirm that you have no leaks. The next thing you want to do is you want to go into the car and you want to reset your maintenance reminder light. So let me just show you how you go about doing that. What you do is you go into the car and you turn your key to the off position. Press your button in that's the odometer reset and hold it in. And that's it. The maintenance required light went out. You're all set. Now when you start it up, that light should stay off. That's it. Perfect. All right, thanks for watching. Any questions, any comments, drop me a line. I'd be more than happy to discuss things with you. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.